I talk, you listen. Welcome to my one-man panel of madness. Hey everyone, it's Dr. Geohu back with some awesome Trekkie news, or Trekker news, whichever you prefer. We don't judge. I really enjoyed Star Trek Day. Now, one of the things I like to do on Star Trek Day is watch the very first episode of each series. So I start with The Man Trap, because that's what originally aired at 8:30 p.m. on September 8th, 1966. Which is weird, because if you're a fan, you know that the third episode is Where No Man Has Gone Before. So it's like a complete different crew, different uniforms and everything. And I'm sure back then people were like, wait a second, is this a whole different show? So, if you know a lot of the history, that was the second pilot that they made after The Cage, which was not looked upon very favorably. However, when they went to broadcast the episodes, they were kind of out of order. So I still try to, start with what it all began with, The Man Trap. After that, we go with The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine. One thing I always forget is Enterprise. Now, I didn't have a problem with Enterprise. I just kind of lost interest in Enterprise for a little bit until the fourth season, and I really enjoyed the fourth season a lot more. I thought that Enterprise had promise. It just wasn't, I guess, my cup of tea. But I always forget about it. And I usually add it in there towards the end because I get all the way through Voyager. I'm like, oh my goodness, I forgot Enterprise. But usually I watch Enterprise after Voyager anyway. So I try to watch them in the way that they were released. What I didn't get a chance to do this year because of the Star Trek Celebration that they did live, I didn't get a chance to do Discovery or Picard. And I realize now that next year I'm going to have to wake up a lot earlier now that we have a lot more Star Trek, which is awesome. I love that we're getting back to a time where we have multiple Star Trek shows. I lived in the 90s, and it was a time where you would have, Next Generation and then Deep Space Nine, or then Deep Space Nine and Next Generation. There was always Star Trek. And some people thought that this was too much, and it was kind of, oversaturating television with too much Star Trek. Or you'd have Star Trek movies and Star Trek TV series going on. So it's just exciting because everything is different, though. Like, you've got Lower Decks. You've got the new Prodigy show that's coming up, which, by the way, I guess I'll start with that because we had a trailer, which we saw yesterday, and I really enjoyed it. Actually, I shouldn't say yesterday because I don't know when this recording will go out. So I will say it the day of Star Trek Day, when it actually aired or premiered the trailer, I was very excited. I liked the animation. I liked the idea of it, that it's not all just, a Starfleet crew, but a motley crew, a crew of people who you would never think could carry out the functions of a starship. Of course, you've got Kate Mulgrew as Captain Janeway, so her holographic captain is there, which was kind of cool. But it was a really nice. I thought it was a really cool trailer. I'm looking forward to it. I know they said it's geared at children, but I can tell that I'm already going to like it. It's kind of like Lower Decks. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not, but you know what? I really am enjoying Lower Decks. I actually look forward to it as one of my weekly, things to look forward to. One thing that I enjoy was, of course, you had the different people coming up, the legacy people coming up and sharing. George Takei, of course, talking. You had, all the different people sort of talk about the history of Star Trek or what it meant to them. Also, a little bit of a celebration for Gene Roddenberry, which was awesome as well. Unfortunately, something must have happened because Patrick Stewart was not able to attend, even though he was scheduled to attend and talk about the next season of Picard, which we did get a trailer for, and I'm all over the place because that's how I felt yesterday. But anyways, I am just excited with all the Star Trek we have coming up. And we have dates. We know that we have Prodigy coming out in October. We have November 18th. We have the new season of Discovery, which I'm excited. I really thought they were going to have a trailer because I was like, wait, that's in 2 months. That's pretty much right around the corner, and there's no trailer yet. What gives? What's going on? So I'm excited to see that, Discovery is coming back. Of course, we have Picard coming back in February 2022. They haven't had an official date, but that trailer also. Now, they had a trailer, which was amazing. It was awesome. I love time travel stories. One of my favorite things about Star Trek have been the time travel stories. Some of my favorite episodes have been time travel episodes. So, I mean, same with the movies. I love. That's why I love Star Trek 4 and Star Trek First Contact, because they're essentially time travel stories. So I'm really looking forward to this. And of course, John Delancey as Q coming back. So that's great. So we're obviously going to see Discovery go from November out through into February or somewhere there, so we have a little break. We got, of course, the introduction of new characters for Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which is what I was really excited to listen and learn from, about what was happening, who was who. Of course, if you watch the live Star Trek Day celebration feed, you could tell that Ethan Peck kind of put his foot in his mouth when they were talking about Star Trek legacy characters. And I think he probably felt that we already knew. So he kind of hinted already, and I was yelling because as I was watching him talk about legacy characters, as he is a legacy character, and so is Captain Pike, I was like, okay, they're going to have other people from Star Trek that we know, legacy characters beyond Strange New Worlds. Now, I at first thought, okay, that's what I'm thinking, because you could tell. It's like, oh, he just let it out. So when they showed a little intro video of the characters, obviously Captain Pike, number one, who has a name, Una, right? Una, which kind of sounds like Uno, or one. Ethan Peck is Spock. Then, of course, they rolled out with some of the other actors that have been announced but not given their character names. And, of course, we have a legacy character of Cadet Nyota Uhura, played by Celia Rose Gooding. Wow. I mean, I said it. I said it. As soon as he put his foot in his mouth about legacy characters, I'm like, okay, they're going to bring back other characters. And, of course, we have Uhura. We have Nurse Christine Chapel by Jess Bush, which is cool. Dr. Mbenga, which we've seen in the classic series, but it wasn't like a very well known, like it wasn't like Dr. Boyce, which I really thought was going to be back, and maybe he might be, but maybe he left the Enterprise after the incident at Talos 4, which is what I'm thinking. So we still don't know exactly how this is going to work. We do know that they have new costumes. They have the new uniforms. Sorry, not costumes, which I'm actually digging because they have that kind of classic Star Trek look. I haven't seen a full body one yet, so we'll have to see. Are they short sleeves, long sleeves? What are they? But they look really cool. I really thought that they're a little different than what we saw them wear in Disco. But they did mention this a while back, that they were going to make some changes and maybe kind of make it closer to the TOS Star Trek that we know. So it was cool to listen to Akiva Goldsman give some information, some little tidbits here and there about what's happening. The only thing that I was a bit concerned of was the character that Christina Chong is playing of Lan Noonien Singh. And she's some kind of descendant, I guess. So I don't know if that's telling us a little bit about what the arc might be. But we all know another Noonien Singh, Khan Noonien Singh, who will appear later on during Kirk's time as captain of the Enterprise, and how Khan takes over the Enterprise, and we have that whole storyline. So I'm a little concerned. I'm hoping they're not trying to make some major changes here or something like that. But when I heard the word Noonien Singh, I was like, okay, well, Brent Spiner, right, going all the way back to Enterprise. So I'm hopeful that it's not going to do some divergent stuff here, but maybe be a part of it in some way. I really hope they don't try to bring Khan back in some other way, because it's the Prime Universe. We got to stay with that Prime Universe. I really thought they were going to bring a young Kirk back, or a young Kirk into the show somehow. If you're bringing Uhura, you can bring other characters into the mix, and who knows, maybe they will. I don't know. We don't know exactly how long the series, how long they plan the series to go through. So, but I will make some guesses. I'll use my psychic abilities to make some guesses on what I think Strange New Worlds will bring to the stage. But anyways, that was an exciting Star Trek-filled day. It was fun to see the different panels during the Star Trek Live Day event that they did. Thank you to Paramount Plus and CBS Plus for doing that. Oh, it is just Paramount Plus. Sorry, whatever. Same thing. Because I really enjoyed Star Trek has always meant so much to me since I was a young kid in the 90s, I guess. Yes, young kid in the 90s. And so I've always been a Trekkie at heart, and I don't mind the word Trekkie, Trekker, whatever. But it's a show that's really inspired me, especially during some very dark times in my teenage years. I could always, you know, depend on Star Trek to be there in some form to remind me that, like everyone was sharing yesterday, that Star Trek is about a hopeful future. And that's what I'm really looking forward to, is hopefully humanity will wake up in time to realize that we could be doing so much better things if we just all work together and trusted each other. So with that said, thank you for listening. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, so you can hear me ramble some more about Star Trek, Doctor Who, sci-fi, horror. And we are getting into some horror stuff coming soon, because we're in that season now of Black Cats, Witches, and Pumpkins. So I will be talking a lot more horror stuff as I get to it. I do have a really cool Sylvester McCoy movie coming up that I'm going to watch this week, and I will talk about it. So stay tuned. Bye.